Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it's time for our day one patch review that saw one of the largest balance patches ever in Hearthstone history that hit standard, wild twists, including our boy Lord Jiraxis at 8 mana. How did the patch feel after one day? We'll talk about it for every mode. There's a lot of people that aren't very happy about a lot of stuff. We'll go over that, as well as the shop update. I'm a couple days behind on that with all the news that came out, but we have a new priest portrait to show off and a couple of returning portraits that might interest you in case you have the gold sitting around for them. And if you feel like I've earned your subscription, you're enjoying the content on the channel, please hit that sub button down below. It helps us out a ton. So yeah, Lord Jiraxis to 8. I believe I tweeted out like the big winner is Zeph getting buff Jiraxis, buff Tyrion. But the majority of the nerfs seem to be more the lighter side in standard and a lot heavier for wild and twists. Talking about standard, very early numbers don't really see much of a shift in terms of win rates across all ranks. That'll probably be better in like 24 hours time. But if you take a look at Donkey Site, where there's very limited data, you can see Diamond through Legend, Totem Shaman's obviously out of control. It's got the best win rate. They got to nerf Shaman again. But you can see kind of the usual suspects still popping up there, doing well. The new whole like concoction rogue with Yogg is there. We got Secret Hunter still doing well. Odin Warrior, which should still be a very solid deck, even with a 5 mana Sanitize and a 4 or like less armor on Craftsman Hammer, still really good. And you'll also note that yes, Tony Druid has really shot up. This is a deck that has emerged as the big terror, at least a high legend, a few days before this patch went live, and they didn't have a lot of time to try and correct that because this list didn't even run Auctioneer. Totally different style of build. It had like the Lasher card, Contaminate Lasher, which is still being run and is leading to a lot of people being really frustrated. It leads to that whole Jailer Tony situation. The other decks we see here, Plague DK is popped up as a playable deck, mainly because it counters this deck. You play Hell Yeah, and it shuffles all those plagues infinitely, right? And this Druid deck wants to draw its whole deck, pretty much. It kind of blows itself up. So that's seeing some play. And of course, there's also apparently the Warlock still seems okay, but Symphony does feel a lot worse. But again, these numbers are super early. We'll have deck recommendations probably tomorrow, at least early recommendations, since a lot has changed, especially in Wild and Twist. At Standard, yeah, a lot of contention. Pheno tweeted out, Druid still looks like the best deck by far, and Lasher is probably still a card you want to play. And I guess he tried Plague Deathlight with red. I don't know why you'd want to, but he did. And yeah, a lot of people were talking about Druid, Tony Jailer. Like, I gotta say, these two cards, Tony and Jailer, to me are just not well-designed cards in terms of, there's two options for them. Either they're unplayable, like meme garbage, like you're never gonna be able to play your Jailer Tony style card. It's just a meme, so it's kind of a waste of a legendary, or it's a meta and everybody hates it and is frustrated because it changes the way you can play Hearthstone. Your deck is deleted or minions become immune and you can't kill them. And Mimic tweeted this out. Well, this is just stupid. This is on turn 5. You can see the warrior is 5 mana. He has a Nubercon on the board. He's got Jailer, Eonar, he's got Tony and Yogg, and a full hand of this warrior's cards, right? Like, that's the type of gameplay pattern that it's not really healthy for the game and didn't really get addressed with this balance patch and is likely going to be an issue until the next patch. We'll talk about the issue cards and all of that, you know, the Yoggs of the world in particular. But yeah, the Jailer Tony stuff to me just kind of irks me because they're just cards that just lead to this type of thing. They just end up being degenerate and frustrating, and I don't know. I don't think they're very well designed cards in my opinion. I don't throw that out there very often, but I feel like they're either useless or they're super omega frustrating, and that led to a lot of salty tweets from pro players, as in congrats on the worst patch in history by Insane HS here. And we also had Tic Tac, who recently got Twitch partner. Congratulations to him. It's funny how after every single balance patch, the meta stays the same, but more shit. Like, it's just a different color. It's a different coat of garbage, right? So there's a lot of frustration there. I'm curious what you guys have to say. I mostly just, I play at higher legend. I watched higher legend streams. I'd see higher legend players, how they're feeling. I feel like at lower ranks, I'm guessing it's probably a little bit more satisfying. I don't know if we can look at the all ranks of, you know, pure paladin doing well. We got other decks popping up here. I don't know. You'll have to let me know how you guys feel about the patch, but standard druid is like the big one that looks bad. And also, of course, you still have the OTKs from the Sith mages, the nature shamans. It's still pretty darn uninteractive in standard. You know, it wasn't expected to be a huge shift for standard, as it was mostly nudges. But what about wild? Is wild better? Is twist better? Well, I'll go to wild. Corbett tweeted this one out. Wild is a mode that's inherently full of powerful interactions, but we still want the mode to feel like you're playing Hearthstone. There's some strong wild decks that we didn't touch in these changes because though they're powerful, they still fit in the Hearthstone mold. And we have a 42-42 Edwin, an 8-8 giant, and a 3-2 on turn 3. Yes, that is from the patch notes. One of the dev comments explaining why certain things weren't nerfed. Yeah, it's a little bit crazy. I was playing Questline Druid at lower ranks, and yeah, didn't really lose a game. It seemed really solid. There's some definite, like, you know, Wild is still gonna be crazy. Like, they hit a bunch of the problem stuff, but they also have neglected Wild for like forever. So it's just the other stuff that was right behind it takes over. That's super degenerate, like the Corbett Miracle Rogue there, the got, you know, Yogg and all that. If you want Wild to resemble a Hearthstone format, you know, that first patch is a great start. I didn't run into like a lot of those decks. It felt a lot better. It felt different for sure, but it still felt like super degenerate, super crazy. You gotta play super high rolls or really broken stuff. But same with standard. It's just the way the game is. The power level of Hearthstone is so extreme that, yeah, every format felt that way. And with regards to twist, I'll just show you one picture that kind of summed up my experience. Basically, I'm like top 50 legend in twist right now, and I was consistently getting 6-5 minute queue times trying to find a game. When I found a game, it was pretty fun. Every deck I faced was different. I faced like a ramp token druid. I believe I faced death rattle shaman. I faced pirate warrior, good old fashioned pirate warrior. I was just playing control warrior myself, still doing really well with that deck, even with the nerfs, just threw in ravaging ghoul. But overall, my queue times are really bad at my rank, so it's really hard for me to evaluate. And I saw like literally no buzz about twist on Reddit, on Twitter. It just feels like all the hype that was possibly there is already gone because this balance patch took so long to get, and then the players that might want to try things out still really can't. It's still super inaccessible, so I don't even know how I'm going to try and do deck recommendations for twist tomorrow because it just feels like barely anyone's playing. And maybe the queue times are indicative of that, or it's just bad matchmaking, but overall, it's just hard to evaluate twist. You can let me know in the comments below if you've been playing it, if it feels better. It felt better for me, the games I was able to get, but when like nobody's playing, it's kind of frustrating and really hard to evaluate, and that really sucks. And in terms of duels in arena, didn't really play too much of duels. I'm glad the quest, Rogue Quest Caverns Below is banned there. That was really polarizing, but again, duel support basically non-existent other than just nerfing everything that becomes good. And arena is still completely ruined by like the barcode cheater decks and the horrible imbalanced titans being draftable. A lot of the modes are looking pretty rough these days, but let's take a look at that shop update because I don't have much else good to say right now. So in the shop, we have a brand new priest portrait, and I love Xyrella portraits. I might not like Anduin, but I love me some Xyrella. Investigator Xyrella. It costs 1,000 runestones, 12.50 Canadian or like $10 USD. More of the basic portrait, not like super animated or anything like that. And well, she looks and sounds like this.
Xyrella versus Anduin.
Light shall bring victory.
I would like to ask you a few questions. Detective Xyrella, Private Eye. Oh, just one more thing. You have been a great help. How mysterious. A red herring. I am going to clean up these streets. Book him! Book him! Yes. Sorry. A dead end.
There are also a couple of returning portraits in Margaladon for Demon Hunter. You can buy for 1,000 gold and I think like 750 USD, 875 Canadian. And there's also Garrosh the Chained bundle, and they come with 5 packs as well, class packs. Again, you can buy it for 1,000 gold, 750 Canadian, or sorry, 875 Canadian, 750 USD. So get those if you missed out on them and you want to get them. Those are pretty cool. And yeah, I wish this patch for like Twist and Wild happened like 2 weeks ago. That would have helped Twist out a lot. And for Standard, I feel like the patch should be like next week, and they would have had more time to assess things. Their patch timing has just been rough, and I know it's not really in the devs' hands, but at the same time, don't they set the schedule? Like, I don't know the workings and the goings on, but I do feel like, you know, this patch is kind of nice for Standard or for Twist and Wild. It's just really late. In Standard, it feels too soon, and it just doesn't feel like it's quite hit the mark. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, how you're feeling about all the modes and whatever you're playing. And tomorrow we'll hopefully have our deck recommendation video where I'll try and have decks for Standard, Wild, and Twist for you guys to try out. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.